So Khabib Nurmagomedov was doing an interview on a podcast in New York, and he had leaked that Islam Makhachev will be fighting Jack Della Maddalena for UFC 322 here in New York. Let's hear what.
But this is his deal with UFC. I don't deal with UFC. This is his problem. But we have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say yes. I think here in New York.
So, obviously, the opponent is not specified, but we all know that the fight that is happening next is Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. As soon as I heard this news, I got so excited, bro. I was so excited because this is a banger to headline MSG, and it got me thinking, we need a banger undercard. All right, we need some good fights to prop up this pay-per-view. It's going to be a good one. They always do good for MSG. So I came prepared with some fights. Now, we all know this is the main event. There's not going to be a bigger fight than this. But for the co-main event, the rightful co-main will be Volk versus Evloev. Listen. I don't need to convince y'all about this, all right? Everybody wants this fight. Everybody knows this is the rightful matchup. And the storyline for them being at the same press conference would be so hard. JDM has already said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring it back for Volk," and Evloev is from that region as well. So essentially, you have an Australia versus Dagestan main and co-main. All right, the rivalry continues. There's gonna be a lot of respect, but that friendly competition is gonna be here. This is the fight to make, all right? But they might fumble around with their thumbs. They're like, I don't know. We're not going to make the best fight the best for some reason. So, I came with alternatives. If this isn't the co-main, this is also feasible. Now, this might be a nightmare scenario for us Volk fans. Because, John Silva is a tough matchup. Short, stocky, powerful guy with good anti-grappling and good power. And very sniper-like striking. I don't know, man. I don't know about this for Volk. But this is also a feasible co-main. You can do this fight. Alright? But if they don't get Volk on here for some reason, even though Volk hasn't fought since fucking April, we got another alternative. Alright? If Volk is in the co-main event, we need 2 title fights. And here is one of them. Alright? This is just as good. Just as much of a banger. Joshua Van. We need you to come save this card yet again, brother. Listen, man. Joshua Van. He's slated to fight Pantoja next. We all know this is the fight that's going to happen. Put it on to support the main event at MSG. This is a solid co-main. It's going to be a good fight. Joshua Van's going to come to fight. He might get submitted in like 3 rounds, but it will be a banger for as long as it lasts. Now, this is quite a weak co-main, right? So, I got something to back that up too. You know how the UFC likes to throw a women's MMA fight on the pay-per-view main cards for some reason. They're going to do that. So, it might as well be Zhang Weili, baby. Let's go. Listen, man. I fuck with Zhang Weili heavy. We all fuck with Zhang Weili here. Alright? So, obviously, the fight to make in her division is Zhang Weili versus Verna Jandiroba. Some people might be like, oh, do Weili versus Shevchenko. I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like the UFC kind of is hesitating to pull the trigger on that. Especially because I think there are, fights to make in their respected divisions. And Verna Jandiroba is an example of that. Put this fight on. Let Zhang Weili farm a free win for her legacy. Alright? And, we can actually be entertaining in the women's MMA fights. So, that's the top 3 cards that I am, proposing. I still got some feature card left, man. So, we all know the main event is in the welterweight division. So, personally, I don't know about y'all, I like it when they do, the same division fight on the same card as the title fight for that division. So, because of that, Sean Brady versus Kamaru Usman. Now, this is a banger matchup. It's self-explanatory, right? Both guys got some momentum going, and they're very close to the title picture. I feel like they both need one more win, and just throw this on the card. Some people might be like, oh, why aren't you doing Belal versus Shavkat? And that was my original idea. But here's the thing. What if Belal and Islam both wins? You know, what's gonna happen then? What if JDM wins and Bilal wins? If Bilal is in the picture, then one half of the next title challengers is gone. It's just Shavkat, and I feel like Bilal is gonna beat Shavkat. So if you're putting Bilal on that card, it's kind of like if Bilal wins, then it just kind of there was just no point of putting him there. I just think Bilal versus Shavkat should be a 5-round main event in the Apex. That makes sense more in my head. This is more likely to be a more exciting fight. Even though both guys are kind of wrestlers, they can both make it happen on the feet. Usman probably got better striking, and they both kind of got a little more fanfare, So this fight makes sense for the MSG card. Usman has been at MSG multiple times before, and he's kind of loved by fans now. So this will be a good fight for the main card. Another good fight for the main card. Yair Rodriguez, bro. It's time. It's time for you to get decisioned. Listen, Yair is a little bitch. All right, he keeps ducking. He keeps ducking the rightful matchup. Diego Lopez is kind of a good matchup within that top, upper echelon of featherweight. Okay, and that would be an easier matchup for him than anybody else. Arnold Allen is a harder matchup, in my opinion, for Yair than Diego Lopez. So if you want to duck, you still getting the fight, bro. You win this fight, you can challenge for the title. But you got to get through Arnold Allen first, brother. Listen, man. Yeah, man. I mean, this matchup makes sense. I think people talked about it. I think Arnold Allen talked about it as well. It makes merit-wise, it makes sense. Timeline-wise, it makes sense. Get Arnold Allen back in there, bro. Like, wow, what's the holdup? Yair's fucking doing his little labia surgery. Like, we don't need all of that. All right? So, this could be the the first fight on the main card or the fourth one. But I think this next fight right here should be opening up the main card. Okay? Bobby Green. It's time to get completely chinned again, bruh. But Bobby Green, King Green over here could put on a masterclass. But we know Esteban Ribovic is a banger. He comes to fight. He is the fighter's fighter, okay? If you don't fuck with Esteban Ribovic over here, right, you need to leave, okay? Esteban Ribovic versus Bobby Green should open up the main card. This is the fight to get people to show up, all right? They're gonna stand and bang. They're gonna scrap. Bobby Green's probably gonna get chinned, all right? It's all gonna be a good fight. It's the perfect fight to open up a pay-per-view like this, okay? Now, headliner of the prelims. I got another banger for you, okay? Josh Emmett versus Steve Garcia. Listen, man. Listen. Steve Garcia's coming up. He just got a win over Calvin Kattar. We need to keep him moving up the division. Josh Emmett just lost to Yusuf Zalal, okay? It's time for another up-and-comer, bro. There's no easy fights for you in the featherweight division. You're not getting no Bryce Mitchell on short notice anymore, all right? Get Steve Garcia in there, okay? This is a good fight. The finish potential is high. So it's a perfect fight to cap off the prelims. Okay? You might be thinking, oh man, FugaziMMA, you're so goated, bro. Let me pour honey on you. First of all, thank you. I don't need no honey on me. Alright? But I got one more fight to end it off for you, okay? Marlon Chito Vera versus Henry Cejudo. Listen, you got the coolest dude ever. That's kind of a shit fighter. And Henry's the most uncool guy ever, who's also kind of a shit fighter now. On the prelims, both guys are kind of on a skid. I think Henry's on a 3-fight losing streak. Cheeto's, I think, a 2-fight. He's like 1-3 in his last 4 or something. Both kind of falling off in the bantamweight division. Perfect fight for each other. There's there's a path to victory for both guys. And, they're both kind of chatty. I feel like you get these two guys, doing some interviews, they might start talking shit. All right, they might start yapping at each other. There might be some fireworks thrown at each end. All right, I think this is a good fight, good way to stack the prelims. If you do all of these fights, the rest of the card you could just fuck us. You could just do whatever. Put fucking goddamn bring Martin Boudet back and have him fight 7 times, and it would still be a good card. Okay. But yeah, this is my proposed fight card for UFC 322. I didn't make every single fight because God knows the UFC don't like to do that. You know, I'm just giving them a couple of solid picks, solid options, because we know they watched MMA YouTube. But yeah, man, thank you all for watching. If you enjoy, leave a like, drop a comment on what you think, and subscribe for more, man. I'll catch you at the next one, man. Peace out.